Yes. So today now, the 19th day of the month of May 2026, and as we speak to you, we have very good news for you. We have new revelation coming out from Sokoto State as we dey speak to you, and the current sitting governor of Sokoto State has agreed finally to do something for Nnamdi Kanu because Nnamdi Kanu, through his lawyers, have approached him several times requesting that they put certain things in place that would help Mazi in his appeal case. And as we speak to you, the current governor of Sokoto State has finally started responding. Now, before we go into that, we still have other news for you, news that I advise you not to miss out for any reason in this world. Now, let me tell you the lineup one after the other. These are actually all good news for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. For the very first time in a really long time, we have a video briefing that contains only positive updates for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, where the very first one is what happened inside the Federal High Court yesterday evening. Something happened inside that High Court, spearheaded by Justice James Omotosho, and it has now been given, or rather, it has given Mazi Nnamdi Kanu an edge entering into his appeal case, and that is something you should not miss out on. Well, the second one is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's biggest critic has been arrested. What happened to him? Who was arrested? What really went down? We're gonna tell you all of that. Then the third update is an update from Sokoto State and the appeal court. A very big update has emerged from Sokoto State regarding the appeal court proceedings involving Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then the fourth and final news is what the governor of Sokoto State has finally agreed to do for Nnamdi Kanu. What are all these things? What exactly is happening today? Well, there are these are news and coverages we are going to be discussing one after the other, and I advise you to watch this video to the very end because any part you miss, you may miss a lot of important details. Now let us begin this coverage with the very first update, which is what happened inside the Federal High Court yesterday evening. What really happened inside the Federal High Court? How does it concern Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Well, Mazi Kanu is already done with the Federal High Court, so why are we bringing him back into this court? Why are we discussing him here? Well, calm down, relax. Let me show you something very important. You see, yesterday a case was heard inside the Federal High Court that was handled by the same man who sentenced Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Now, who is that man? What happened in that case? How will it help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? These questions are many, but I advise you to pay attention carefully. Let us begin with the very first question. What happened yesterday? So yesterday, in fact, let's even run back to the 13th day of May 2026 before coming to yesterday. There was a case that involved a dispute connected to Nigerians' digital currency, which was heard in the Federal High Court of Abuja. Now, if you remember the era when Muhammadu Buhari introduced the e-naira into the Federation, if you remember when they wanted to create an application Nigerians could use to send money instead of carrying cash everywhere, where that digital currency was called e-naira. Now, a case was heard yesterday on that issue. This report came from Vanguard newspaper, and the report said e-naira dispute, court fixes May 22 for judgment. Now, what has really happened regarding the e-naira? I want you to pay attention here. See, the report stated that the Federal High Court in Abuja fixed May 22, 2026, rather, to deliver judgment in a legal dispute over the ownership and control of Nigeria's digital currency known as e-naira. Now, the case is about an attempt to stop the Central Bank of Nigeria from retaining exclusive ownership rights over e-naira. So, what has really happened? Well, an individual reportedly registered a business name connected to e-naira years before Buhari administration officially launched the digital currency project, and since then the matter has remained in court between the individual and the Nigerian government. Now, who handled the case? Well, the case was handled by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja, and according to the report, Justice Omotosho adjourned the matter until May 22 after all parties adopted their final written argument. So now, this is where it concerns Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Omotosho stated that the judgment will only be passed after all parties have submitted and adopted their final written argument. So the plaintiff them submitted they submitted their final written addresses. The defendants, including the Central Bank of Nigeria, also submitted theirs and urged the court to dismiss the suit. Now, remember this carefully. On October 27, 2025, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had declared stately that he would not file a final written address because he believed there was no law in Nigeria under which he should be tried. Despite that, judgment was still delivered on November 20 without a final written address from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's side. Now, people are asking questions. Why is a final written address necessary in one case before judgment can be passed, but in another case involving Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, judgment was delivered without it? Are you paying close attention to this? Now, these are two different approaches coming from the same judge. Now, there are indeed circumstances under Nigerian law where a court can proceed without a final written address. However, people are now comparing different cases handled by the same judge and noticing clear differences in judicial approach. That is why many legal observers actually believe that these transparencies may strengthen some of the arguments that could be raised during the appeal process, because people now are beginning to ask Justice Omotoshan to explain the variation that he has in style and procedure across different cases. Why is it always different when he's handling different cases? Now, all of these things are gradually adding more points that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team may rely upon during the appeal proceedings. I hope you are following. So, if you're following, well, type I am following in the comment section so that we can move swiftly to our second update for the day. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's biggest critic has reportedly been arrested. Now, I'm going to be brief on this one so that we don't take much of your time. See, there is this man that reportedly worked under the Buhari administration, and he was also known for criticizing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and also supporting the extraordinary rendition carried out during the Buhari era. As of yesterday, reports emerged that he has been arrested. And what is his name and what happened? Well, the report came from multiple outlets, including Premium Times, The Cable, The Nation, and even Punch newspaper, of course. Reports came from various places. So, um, they all reported that the EFCC arrested Mustafa Abdullahi, the Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, over alleged fraud and money laundering involving hundreds of billions of naira. Where the key issue here is the allegation of financial misconduct. According to the report, EFCC took him into custody in Abuja after allegations linked to fraud and money laundering connected to public funds. This same individual had previously been vocal in matters relating to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. Now, one interesting thing people noticed was that on his official social media page, he regularly showcased projects carried under his office, including solar panel installation, inverters, batteries, and other infrastructural projects across parts of northern Nigeria. Many are now shocked that someone publicly displaying developmental projects is now facing serious allegations of financial misconduct behind the scenes. What do you think of this development? Let us move to the update number 3. Like I said, these updates I wouldn't want to be wasting too much time again. An update from Sokoto State and the appeal court. We all know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is expected to travel from Sokoto State to Abuja for appeal court proceedings. For a very long time now, there has been an argument over whether he should travel by air or by road. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's side insisted that air transportation would be safer and faster. Others, however, argued that road transportation should be used instead. But as we speak, recent developments appeared to have strengthened the argument for air transportation. About 14 hours ago, reports emerged concerning kidnapping along the Abuja-Sokoto highway. This report was carried by Vanguard. The report stated that 2 staff members were kidnapped along this Abuja-Sokoto route. Now pay attention closely. This is the same route people expected Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to travel through by road, and this was not an isolated incident. The Abuja-Sokoto road has repeatedly witnessed security incidents and kidnappings over time. According to reports also, ransom demands were also made. So many people are now saying that the issue of road transportation has effectively become too risky, especially considering the security situation along that axis. So the development has strengthened arguments in favor of air travel, but that is not all. Remember that earlier report had also suggested that the Sokoto airport had issues affecting certain flight operations. Now this leads us directly to update number 4, which is where I said the Sokoto state governor has finally agreed to something significant for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal side reportedly wanted improvements made to airport facilities to make air transportation easier and safer. And now, according to the reports we are having from New Telegraph, the Sokoto state government has approved major funding for airport-related infrastructural projects. And I urge you, please, any updates I'm giving, any newspaper I'm quoting, anything at all I'm saying, you should fact check it via your own at your own leisure whenever you feel like. Please fact check them. When I mention that a particular news channel or a newspaper handle or a newspaper website posts reports or post the news, you should try as much as possible to fact check it so that you know that right here we give you nothing but authenticated and verified news. Now, like I said, New Telegraph gave a report that the Sokoto state government has approved major funding for airport related infrastructure projects. So, the report stated that Sokoto state government Sokoto state government earmarks 2.2 billion naira for NYC camp and airport project. 2.2 billion naira for NYC camp and airport project. According to the details, the Sokoto State Executive Council approved funds covering infrastructure upgrades, including projects like linked to the Sultan Abubakar International Airport and other public facilities. The breakdown reportedly includes over 1 billion naira for renovation and related airport infrastructural improvements. Now, you can see clearly that these developments are all connecting together. People previously argued that air transportation would be too expensive. Others also argued that the airport facilities were not fully suitable. Now, with the recent security concerns along the Abuja-Sokoto road and the approval of funding for airport-related upgrades, many supporters of Nnamdi Kanu now believe that this development favor his request to travel by air instead of by road. At the same time, discussions continue around the issue of final written addresses and the differences observed in various court proceedings is handled by Justice James Omotosho. So many supporters now believe that recent effects are gradually aligning in ways that may positively affect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's appeal process. What do you think about this developments we have discussed so far? I would like to see your thoughts in the comment section. If you are happy, well, type I am happy in the comment section so we can see the number of people following this discussion carefully. So, congratulations once again to everyone following this matter closely, and congratulations to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his family, his legal counsel, his legal team, and all over this recent development. And all in all, we'll say congratulations to the Biafra community, and thanks as well to the Sokoto state government for moving forward with this infrastructural project as at went you. Thank you guys for sticking with us right up until this moment. It's been amazing being with you here. We will be seeing you on the other side of the screen, but for now, this will be Baz News.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.